Um, can you let me know when it starts though? Because mine's going to be delayed and I only have one monitor. Oh, okay. Sorry. Okay. Hi guys. It's Andrew here. Today we're going to be doing a workshop for Daydream and Dotsimulate's collab. If you don't know already, this is going to be for Stream Diffusion TD. And yeah, we've been the researchers at Daydream have been working really hard, and recently we've been able to create. We recently released both SD 1.5 and SDXL on server hosted on server hosted. So basically what that means is that we can use those two models without any local GPU usage. This is great because, that means you can do it on any computer. And with this recent update, we're collaborating with Dotsimulate, who is doing one for Touch Designer. A lot of Touch Designer users use Stream Diffusion, and with this update, we can get better quality videos and also, better quality outputs and better FPS. And so this is Dotsimulate's Patreon. This is Daydream, the Daydream API key generator. You'll need this if you want to use Dotsimulate's Daydream component. And there's an early access update that we're going to be releasing for you guys who are watching that you can play around with. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also join the Daydream Discord. And if you want to make your own applications, if you check out our Discord, we have a lot of people who are building their own apps that you can use as well. And lastly, if you want to play around and you don't want to use the Touch Designer version, there's also the Daydream Playground experience, which gives you basically a snippet on what you can make in with real-time AI. Lastly, I do want to give a shout out to Marco and Ryan. These guys were the researchers behind all of these multi-control net, IP adapters, and SDXL. If you don't know what any of these are, SDXL is just a much higher model, and IP adapters allow you to basically prompt with a photo. And so I just wanted to show off this post that Ryan, one of our engineers, made. And yeah, this research is all open source. If you want, you can check out this Reddit post, but you can see right here, just instantly changing it just based off of a cardboard box image, which I think is really cool. And yeah, it's all in real time. This Reddit post it's just Ryan talking about what's going on. And yeah, down here is the GitHub if you want to check it out. But yeah, that's about it. And I will hand it off to Lyle.
Let's see. Let's get me unmuted. All right. Now I should be good. How's everyone doing today? So I'm going to just go over a couple things that are super exciting and fun and new. The version that Andrew has shared with you, just so you know, is like early access to a V3 of Stream Diffusion. And just dealing with microphones. So early version of V3, just so you guys know, this version is going to have a fair amount of extra print statements, a couple extra stuff, and yeah, we're just going to go over that now. But so this version that Andrew shared in the Google Drive is going to be basically available to the people that are in this stream live, and then I'm probably going to take it down. So that's just a fun nugget for you. But some exciting things that come. On the Daydream side and the local side, we have more model support. So previously, everything with Stream Diffusion was using SD Turbo. And this is a Stable Diffusion 1. Or 2.1 model where it was released by Stable Diffusion, I think back in the end of 2023, and it was released as a non-commercial research model. It was really fast. It was about like 10 times faster just right out of the gate than normal 1.5 Stable Diffusion, but it wasn't really used for too much. And then a couple weeks afterwards, Stream Diffusion came out, and that was like even more of a speed boost. I think it went from 15 to 60 times, and then we were getting like 60 to 90 FPS on the books, or in theory, according to the paper. But with this, it enabled it to be ultra fast and run in real time. But now, with some of the awesome innovation by the LivePeer team, we have SDXL as well, and 1.5, all running with TensorRT and IP adapter and control nets. SD Turbo isn't running with IP adapter, but I've also got, as far as the Daydream setup is going, a new operator, which is shared with you now, that does not require any sort of install. It should just drag and drop in your computer. And then as long as you set this Daydream API key in the install page, you'll see most of the things like models, V2V. The second page isn't as disabled, but most of these things are actually disabled when you're in the backend Daydream mode. Local mode, if you want to dive into that, I'll probably show that a little bit later. But the Daydream mode, all you're going to need to do is drop your API key in here and then hit Start Stream on this first page. So let me get SDXL Turbo running. And a couple of things to note also is this API integration right now is slightly less reliable than the last version I sent out, and that's something I'm fixing before the release, obviously. So if I go here, Start Stream, you'll notice that no external command window opens up, and we get a little bit of a different look in the operator. And I'm actually getting 429, which means that I'm getting rate limited as far as my requests, which is interesting because I haven't run anything today yet, so I'm not sure why I'm getting rate limited. But you see, we've got a very elaborate little tons of fruit coming in over this banana. On the touch designer side of things, super simple setup, movie file in with the default, adding a little bit of noise and spinning it around on the transform. But yeah, that's just a little bit of, I mean, I didn't really show off exactly what it can do yet, but I think that is a bit of the new settings. Andrew, if you had any thoughts of like what to explore kind of first and what to show people. Also, I know we were going to try to maybe make this one a little more like live, engaging, maybe just like questions from the chat as well. So yeah, if anyone wants to, in any chats, I know we have got a couple live streams active here, so hopefully we see everyone. But if you guys want to definitely drop questions, and I can even build some setups or react to some questions live during the time we've got here. I've got a couple backup things. If you want me to just kind of ramble, I can go over like some prompt transition techniques, some Andrew and I kind of talked about some different setups that you might use Stream Diffusion or Daydream in like installations or audio reactive live streams. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like probably one of the coolest things that I think about with Stream Diffusion is like prompt transitioning, just like straight up like that. It's just like something that's really interesting. In terms of like use cases, I think that 3D scenes are pretty interesting with multi-control net. So just like throwing down some like random geometry into your scene of like moving stuff, like meta balls as well. Those are pretty fun. I kind of just put my own art in and then see what happens. And yeah, most of the times it's pretty good. SDXL has been great. I actually haven't used the Touch Designer version yet, but I feel like it kind of unlocks a lot of parameters changing that can be automatic that you can't get on the playground, which is like super great. Like I've created with their local version, I've created like entire systems of this like prompt travel, seed travel that's like really fluid and it just looks good. That you can't really get on the Daydream playground because you can't really connect your parameters to anything. But yeah, also I think workflows as well. Nothing that I've explored, but I know someone in our in the Discord, Daydream Discord. It's always really fun to, after you have your output, you like can like upscale it, denoise it if you do have a NVIDIA GPU. And
yeah, we could touch on post processing maybe.
Yeah, I think post processing is like probably one of the best things. It's like slapping your output with just like Bloom. It's like pretty good. But yeah, I think that the descaler or the upscaler is pretty good.
Yeah, so if anyone doesn't know what Andrew's talking about in Touch, it's a bit tricky depending on what card you have, but you need a NVIDIA GPU, and if you have a 50,000 series, you need to use the experimental version. I'm using what version? Touch Designer 2023 12370, which I think is the second to last version. I would recommend for anyone that's like totally starting out with Touch to grab the most recent production version of 2023. There is like a new version that is 2025 experimental, and that runs POPs, which is like an awesome new exciting operator family that runs entirely on the GPU. But that is like an experimental version, so a lot of things that you might download with Touch Designer might not even run. It supports a lot, but my operator, just full transparency, is less tested on the 2025 version. It should work, but what I was saying is the NVIDIA stuff, NVIDIA background, NVIDIA denoise, and then flex and flow. We won't really look at those, but the upscaler is pretty awesome. This is not going to be the most interesting upscale because it's just text, but this goes from 512 just up to 1024. You can even do upscale 4. And also, if you want to just mess around with it, not with Stream Diffusion, it's pretty much just like a sharpener. I've actually used this in like several setups where I think I just use the upscale 2, and then I literally go right into a fit and fit it to half. So I'm actually just not even upscaling, but I'm just using it as a little bit of a sharpener, which again, this doesn't work on text. So let me get the stream going. Just making sure I didn't have any weird settings. Because last time, as you saw, I got 429. I will say with this version, yeah, I would say using it is pretty much like you're agreeing to using a slightly less stable version, but it's got new features. And hopefully within the next couple days, I will have this new version out. But anytime, if you're using it and you basically experience anything that feels like it's not accepting your settings, just hit stop and re-roll the dice. We're still connecting here. And then I want to show off some IP adapter stuff. It currently only takes links through the API. So I have this string parameter, which you can see it's going to external content.duckduckgo. And that is somewhere in Chrome. Let's see. Let's just close that and get a new Chrome window. I think I searched for like sunset. And then just right click, open image, a new tab, and I'm streaming on the wrong screen. And then I copied this URL, which is much less interesting. I think when I release this, if it's a URL necessary upload, then I'm going to make a component that does some of that logic, like uploads to Imgur or however the heck you say that site, and then gives you that link. So that would be something that like takes the top, and goes into that.
Oh, I see. So then you could just like I feel like that would be really convenient.
Yeah,
I think being able to have like a folder of IP adapters that you like already have is pretty important. I'm like, or like something that you can easily scroll through. Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to start it up local for now.
Sure.
Also, yeah, just go over some of the new local stuff, which is also, I mean, you mentioned Ryan and Marco, freaking powerhouses. I was able to do so much with the original Stream Diffusion repo, and I basically like a lot of the stuff that I added was like changing the prompts on the fly, changing the control net. I guess I implemented control net into it based off another fork that another researcher had put out there open source. And then the trickiest part was like understanding, like it's so low level as far as how this stuff works, but all the TensorRT stuff, like I feel like I'm in the middle of the developer artist world. Acceleration has failed. I'm just going to do complete live demo failure this whole time. Let's see. Am I out of memory? No.
Damn.
Oh, I have IP adapter enabled and 2 control nets. That's why.
So local, you're still limited to 1 control net?
Local, you're limited to... No, you won't be. But right now you might be. Let's see. Well, that's odd. Hosted. This time it'll work.
Live debug sesh.
I mean, who knew? Who knew this is what we wanted? You got the operator, right?
I do have the operator. Here, let me try running it. I think. Let me see how this goes.
I think they have my API key flagged.
No,
I'm me blaming this on the back end is mostly a joke for all the viewers. What I've done between the last version I released and this version is pretty much moved all of the API logic from the external Python window into a web process that's running in touch.
Oh.
So
okay.
The connection is actually more reliable in a lot of ways because of the way the web render runs in a different thread. But for some reason, the stream updates, and I think a lot of people might have been experiencing this with the other version, where it's like it kind of launches live and then you can't change the prompts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think that is also still the case. Looks like my screen is still up. If you wanted to, maybe switch to yours, and I could.
Let me download it real quick.
Nice.
Okay. Jesus.
So another thing with the Daydream recently, I know that the backend has switched over to being a lot more GPUs available for SDXL. So that's another thing. If people are hitting in the command window that opened, if it said like, I forget what the message I wrote in there, but like there's no capacity available or something, you might hit that a little bit more with the old version now because there's less GPUs on SD Turbo.
Okay, it's my... Okay, yeah, Am I sharing my screen? Hold on. Share my screen.
Nice, we got...
Okay.
Oh, I can see like the viewers too on the stream card. We got a lot of viewers on Twitter. Nice. Or should I should say X. That's not allowed.
Twitter. What the heck is a Twitter? Okay. Okay, I think we have to wait for... Okay, perfect. Okay, let me see if this works. Yeah, we can just like, honestly, yeah, I think one of my... It's like bringing some of my art into... I feel like these ones are always pretty good.
Yeah, you're getting a 429 too. That's crazy.
Oh no, it's not working. What does 429 mean?
Rate limit.
Huh. What if we change it to a different model?
Yeah, try SD Turbo. I didn't actually launch with that. I got 429 as well.
Oh man.
So the new version, there's also this thing. I think I fixed a little bit, Andrew, where you hit stop and it kind of like pauses for a sec, but it still happens
Right.
every once in a while.
Oh wow.
I need to do a little. Let's see. Did I do any late night changes that just changed all the logic? No, I did not.
Oh man.
I was like, oh, if I messed it up, it would be easy to fix.
And it doesn't work locally?
Running it again.
I feel like even if it was...
I have a different project I can open. Well, I think it sounds like we might have, for some reason, everyone, maybe because I put out a new op, so maybe all of our viewers are having successful streams. But the API might be hitting capacity right now, it sounds like.
Oh yeah. People are probably running it right now.
So yeah, the
Are other people running on it?
best case scenario, every one of our chatters right now is just not paying attention to the stream because they're just diving into SDXL.
Having a good time. Touch Designer SDXLing. Oh man.
We'll get it up. Yeah, we had some fun thoughts on like different, because like the Daydream stuff is a little bit, there's some limitations given that it's a cloud model, but that also provides a lot of opportunity, especially for like someone that doesn't have a GPU, but like thinking about, yes, it is, I guess, non-local, so it's also paid. But depending if you have the budget, the cost that they're proposing is not high at all. But like you could easily set up like some sort of ambient little thing. We were talking about like the idea of like a Halloween window where you're actually like, you could rear project onto a curtain or something and get like some fun ghosty effects going. This is just not the right project at all, but
I feel like SDXL and SD 1.5, they do smoke really well, or like clouds. Like it just like, yeah, effects look better.
I mean the quality of just the denoise, like you can get much more fine denoise changes where you're basically just barely changing the image, whereas with move over to this one, whereas with the SD Turbo, it was like you had to almost fully denoise the image to get like something that felt quality at all. SDXL, TensorRT. Oh, that was what it was. That was what I was doing. Okay. Nice.
How's it looking?
Oh, we're grooving now. Oh.
Whoa, 120 GPU memory.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Look at this, 190 gigs of RAM.
190. What the heck? Holy crap.
If you ever thought you needed more, you don't. Usually it sits at 60. So this is rocking and rolling now. It'll just take a couple seconds to go, and we can watch it eke out all of my GPU memory. So this is another thing about running it locally is it's possible, but it's heavy.
Yeah.
Especially my new version, especially with SDXL, especially with TensorRT. All of those things add a couple gigs of VRAM each. And as long it's building it? No, that's not good. You don't need to be building it. Why would it be building it? SD Turbo. Oh my goodness. Okay, 5th time's the charm. Jeez. Let me make sure I'm streaming there. Cool. The 0.2.99 operator, which I released a month ago or so, the external command window for both the hosted and the local version is like a lot nicer. This one is basically just printing out everything. And same with the hosted version. It's going to give you pretty much all of the printouts at this top. That is for me as dev looking through so that I can spot, like, I pretty instantly spotted those rate limit errors earlier, but you don't necessarily need to pay attention to that, hopefully, as long as it's working. Just looking at this, load engine is false. Nice. So we are loading bytes from the engine that I had already. So this is working now. Go back over here, and when we go back to my VRAM, you can see, oh, it's going to be mad at me.
Oh my god.
Hopefully we get an image. Okay, so also I need to close this project because this is way too heavy. And
I think someone in the Discord chat. Oh, hold on, let me see. I think they're asking on how you did the feedback, your stream diffusion feedback, like your latest post.
Yeah.
On Instagram. I think they were curious about like what it is and how you made it, because that one's with the SDXL, right? With the feedback loop. Yeah, I don't know. Someone just sent it into the Discord, I guess, and they might be curious or something.
Nice. Yeah. No, I have some slightly fun setups on that too. And I just closed that project too. So I opened that and then just closed it. So the feedback stuff is fun. It is definitely something that works locally only, because it's pretty much taking the last frame and piping it into the diffusion process. And then you can get away with a much higher denoise value and kind of loop over the frame and just add a little bit of diffusion. And loading bytes.
Do you think it's something that will be possible on the hosted server?
Yes.
Side?
I think it'll be possible. The problem, or like the trick there is, oh my goodness. I'm going to have to open that other project because I was inspired by that question. But the problem with the hosted stuff is the time at which it takes to get into the WebRTC feed and then come down and then be picked up a little processing in touch and then streamed back up is like maybe about a half second at best. And with the feedback stuff, you want basically this image to go directly into the input on the next frame.
Right.
And that's going to be very, very tricky if you're going up and down from the cloud. What I'm excited to maybe work with the Daydream team on is figuring out some sort of like maybe controls for that. The problem is you wouldn't really be able to do much of the actual image manipulation in the middle of the diffusion in touch. But there are some like there's a couple fun ideas I had where it's like if you could send them like a UV map of like flow positioning, and then like you'd be able to just like scale it up slightly, and then every frame that would be able to scale and start zooming in based on just nice.
Heyo.
All right, so we got a little bit of something here, and go full denoise. What is this prompt? A perfect three-dimensional object that is contained within the center of the frame, a debris-laden space, fragments of shattered objects. Beautiful.
Do
And
you think with the different models, the prompting,
oh
the way
yeah,
you prompt is different? Like,
I
what
mean,
are the
maybe
differences?
not completely different, but you're going to be able to get away with a much longer prompt and a much more like detailed thing. Let me delete that and plug in something standard, and then this is invalid node. Yeah, that's fine. Nice. So just other fun debug little nugget for you. You saw it was doing some freak out flickering, and then I just went to my other project and disabled the other stream diffusion because likely they were running on the same OSC port or something, or they were sending the same different images.
Right.
So you pretty much want to keep one stream diffusion running on your computer. You
And
can
only
change
one.
the stream out name or the OSC ports if you want to have multiple, but they will, because they are talking across processes on the computer, it's not like fully contained within itself. You will want to keep those unique. But yeah, so now we've got stream diffusion here, and if I just like this lop alpha, which is not the best example, but if I drag that into the IP adapter image, which eventually this will be the same exact thing non-locally, but you need a link non-locally, and then
Yeah.
I can hit IP adapter update and then drag in the style of lops, which with this debris laden field, it is only just slightly adding some words. But
Yeah.
if I pump that even higher, well, yeah, it's not this isn't the clearest style it looks like. But let's get something a little more fun, actually. Just gonna drag something from my computer. Oh, actually, this is the post that someone was talking about. So
Yeah, that one.
it's got a fun little some fun imagery in here. That's a fun little thing. So some books, some eyes. This should be a little more strong as far as the style goes. And if I pulse that, IP adapter style updated. Also, it doesn't seem to be the most stylistic. Let's try a banana. Why is this not working also? Everything. It's clearly having an effect, but it's having the same effect as the words we're doing before. So,
Yeah.
like, I mean, typically when this is working, it is immediately evident that the style has changed. Jeez. So yeah, the feedback safe stuff is really cool. And this post, let's see, play. I'm feeding it back on itself and adding like this edge. So here's like I've been trying to figure out, and this is something I'm going to do a further tutorial on at some point, but I've been trying to build modular little components that can be lined in a chain with this feedback setup. So you'll see I'm streaming and riding the very edge of my VRAM, as you know, but getting 18 FPS with SDXL. If I turn on feedback safe mode, I'm going to drop down to like 10 to 15. But that is on purpose because basically what it's doing is the local version is running in an external window. Too many emojis because of Claude. But every time that it generates a frame in the external window, it's sending an OSC message to touch and it's saying frame ready, check for the image changing. And then touch is looking at the image and detecting when it gets a different frame. And this is happening very rapidly. But as soon as touch detects that it sees a different frame, it goes, and also based off this process delay frames, if I turn this down to like 1, well, it's still working, but maybe if I turn feedback safe mode on and off, if I turn feedback safe off, oh, we're just fully denoised, so it's going to be hard to see this loop. But if I turn the step count up, then we're really going to get this like weird temporal glitch where we're almost like diverging into 2 timelines. Feedback safe mode on immediately kind of fixes that, but that's because I changed the process frames. And let's go back to 3, which is what I had working. So now you'll see we're getting almost a little rotation counterclockwise and we're zooming in.
Let's see.
So this with a step count that's like a lot higher, where we're pretty much going to just get the input image.
Yeah.
We're basically, you can see the zoom in, it fairly low FPS, but it's a lot more smooth temporally because we're just basically gathering the noise on the last frame.
Yeah.
And then, so yeah, this is like fully denoised. And if we go up here to, I think this is what's happening, and I denoise it a little bit less, so we still get some of the image coming in. I'm doing a lot of this like noise injection.
Yeah.
This is extremely helpful to inform where you want like more detail.
Are you specifically putting it in like spots that are? Oh yeah, okay. Okay.
I'm using an edge with a strength of 320,
Okay.
sample step of 22.
Extreme underscore edge. All right.
Yeah. If you want to do extreme edge, these are your exact settings. You need these exact settings, of course.
Someone in the chat asked, can I use stream diffusion if I have an AMD GPU?
That is a good question. I believe the answer is not out of the box, but I think there was someone on my Discord that said they got that working because they needed to at some point. I will say that CUDA is a lot of the special sauce with a lot of the diffusion and ML AI stuff. So it might be possible to run, but it's kind of similar to Mac, where it's going to be a decent about bit slower from my best estimation. I could be wrong about that.
Yeah, okay.
So yeah, here's a fun. So now that we have this thing, this is like zooming, noise injection. That noise is pretty much forcing the image to stay pretty busy, especially with this prompt. Let me change the prompt. So we got a bunch of stuff over here, a bunch of prompts. These are, oh, that's kind of fun. That one's not fun. That's like fire and actually this one's kind of sick. But it's a little
Oh, yeah,
noisy.
prompt cycle. Yeah, I feel like this is all the fun things that you can do with a touch designer, like a stream diffusion component in touch designer. You get to make a bunch of these little like nifty little like tools for yourself where you can like change per prompts and like like an arc. Let's just like have a list of different things that you
Yeah.
can change it to.
So
Yeah, like
I
this.
have this. It's 726, but I think if I actually go inside, it is 10,000.
Wow.
It's 10,000 generations that I've done and rated by hand, and you'll
Oh,
see there's a rating
what is
column.
the reading on?
I hooked it up to a MIDI controller. One button went to the next photo, one slider rated it, and then the one button went back, and I just like rated for like hours and hours.
Oh, and
This is
then
when
like based on
SDXL,
how good it looked.
yeah,
I see.
looks like I had some tags. One of these tags, animate this. What's 296? This must be the best prompt ever. Darkened land, bathed in ethereal. Yeah, looks like crap. Maybe it could be this one though. No, it's definitely not. Oh, actually, this is this the same prompt we were looking at the beginning? No, it's different. But yeah, when SDXL came out, I would like run Comfy UI overnight and get like 1,000 images the next morning, and then I would wake up, grab some coffee, and go through and just rate tons of images. But now, based on that, I have a ton of prompts, and then I don't think I posted this anywhere, but a lot of these other building blocks just for this little prompt setup here, these are all on my Discord. I think some are just on my Patreon as well, but I do have a lot of little tools on my Discord that aren't like fully posted on Patreon.
Yeah.
But one of these is prompt cycle, pretty much takes any table in and you just get a forward, backwards, and randomize pulse.
Yeah.
And then prompt transition takes just text in, and it looks like I'm saying perfect three-dimensional object that is contained within the center of the frame. I didn't know I was at merging that into my prompt, but the prompt transition, basically there's a transition length. So if I turn that up and then change the prompt, it will automatically do that and set the move like the prompt into the next position or the last position. Yeah.
I built the exact same thing when I first started working on stream diffusion stuff. It's just it's like so convenient to do in Touch Designer, whereas like I don't know, I feel like anywhere else it's just a bit more.
Well, I mean, one of the things specifically with Touch, like there's a lot of other real-time programs, but the way that it has an operator class or family that is text and tables is pretty unique in the fact that like I don't even know, like from like a software, I'm like almost trying to reverse engineer in my head, but like I think a lot of other programs, it's like you have a text port where there on the back end is loading in the file and then displaying it to you. Whereas in Touch Designer, the text itself is the data type of the operation that you're running every frame. And then the fact that you can run code just with that opens up so many possibilities. So you can even like I don't think I have too much. There might be a little, yeah. All of this entire operator is Python. And it's pretty, like all of these methods are separated. It's not in a class like I like to. But you could like literally take this and go text. Oh, not TCP. Text, and then this is just now text, but you could change this to just like these random letters.
Yeah.
I don't know why you would want to, but that could be then dynamically changed back into what you want. And then this can be, I don't know why you would do this, of course, but like the fact that you can, in the operators, in the parameters, start actually changing the actual code that you're executing. And then this could go into this. And now instead of the text being stored in the par exec, it's in like a chain of logic.
Yeah.
And obviously this will break if I do this. This is forward. So it doesn't like that. But obviously, why would you do that? Bad example, but it is showing the strength of like building some of these like tools in touch, because you don't necessarily need to, like, all that I'm doing right here is all Python, and I totally messed it up by plugging that in. Let me go there, and but it doesn't necessarily need to be Python, because you could do a bunch of logic. I think I might have some more manual DAT stuff in this. No, this is kind of just Python too. I'm basically just copying the old and the new prompt, and just switching them onto this. But previously in some of my old stuff, I don't know if I can find any examples to pull out. This is a fun prompt. But there's a lot that I used to do with just like long chain of DATs to do simple operations.
Do you have any like tips on like how to write a good prompt?
Yeah, I mean, just do it. No, I would say iterate on the prompt. Like right now, I do have it just hooked up to these two, but if I let me just turn this prompt block off and change this. Didn't like that. Oh, I know. It's because it just went fully black and I was in feedback mode, so it was feeding back on itself fully black. So prompt of FDF right now.
Yeah.
That's not that bad. That's not that good of a prompt.
Yeah.
It's also doing a lot of these seed cycling. Let me pause that real quick so we can just get. So I would say prompts, you want to be maybe more than 3 words, less than like 50. But all of these prompts that I've gotten this are all very long.
Yeah.
And they're all written by AI LLM models.
Yeah.
The way that I generated this is like I was saying, I was kind of going overnight, and I would just run a previous version, like a super early version of like a LOP setup, where it would be based on a random word list, and then every time it would switch, and it was given a list of like quote unquote good prompts, and then based off that random word, it was told to just like go for it and write a prompt. And so like a lot of them, like refracting light into a spectrum of colors, there's all of this like elevated, very silly LLM language. But some of these things like digital decay tooth. This is a nice, if I can, really struggling to copy that onto my keyboard, but turn off feedback safe there and turn down the IP adapter, so we're just getting the tooth. Classic
Yeah.
Classic trick would be to add just high definition. It doesn't change it too much, but you can see it's actually, in my opinion, it gets a little worse. But some of these very small things, it was like also a classic. You can just put HD. But yeah, I really like using the word backlit.
Okay.
Sunset backlit. Yeah, that doesn't. It's not actually that much better, but maybe if we put ourselves and do like a different like seed position.
Okay. Well. It's
Yeah.
almost the hour.
Oh
But
yeah, we are at about that time.
yeah. Right.
Yeah, let's see. I feel like there might be a couple more questions.
Yeah. Are there any other questions? If not, then we can switch back to my screen. I'll just go through all of the
Nice.
QR stuff real quick. Oh, oopsies. My bad. Um, yeah. Is there any questions anywhere? Okay. If not, thanks so much for watching. This is the QR code for Dotsimulate's Patreon.
My hair's been looking crazy.
Here you can get the Daydream API key generator that you can use. It's going to be free for a limited time. So, as right now, we're still in the works of all of this. So make sure to make sure to get yours and use it. If you join our Daydream Discord server, there are some guides on how to easily set up a lot of the touch designer parts of the video. Touch designer parts of Stream Diffusion in our Knowledge Hub. And then, yeah, again, if you want to try out to build your own apps, you can use the Daydream API. And if you don't want to download Touch Designer and you still want to use the Playground experience, you can scan this one to go to our website and you can play around there. Oh yeah. Oof. Whoopsies. Thanks so much, guys.